for the winners of today's second semi-final. Will it be Bradford in their first final since 1990, or will Castleford get to the Premiership final for the first time in a decade? Odsal holds the key to next week's final. Castleford enter Odsal Stadium aiming for only their second Premiership final and their first at Old Trafford. The last time they were in the Premiership final was 10 years ago against Hull Kingston Rovers, and they lost by 10 points to 18. Mike Ford, though, know what Old Trafford is all about. He's been in the second division final for Oldham in 1988 and 1990, and man of the match in 1990. And St John Ellis, 8 tries in his last 6 appearances. He's the leading scorer in the game with 14 touchdowns. Bradford Northern aiming to reach their first Premiership final in 4 years, when they last lost at Old Trafford against Widnes. St Helens finished as runners-up and won it last year. Bradford aim now to do the same. And they have in Paul Newlove a possible trump card. 2 tries and man of the match for Featherstone at Old Trafford last year in the second division final against Workington Town. 36 tries this season, and what a difference Carl Hall has made. 9 tries in 12 games for Bradford, 27 in all since he arrived here from Doncaster. Let's check the teams out for you. Watson, Hall, Shelford, Newlove, Caudle, Summers and Fox, who's the captain. And the forwards, Powell, Clark, Gratian, Dixon, Medley and Fairbank. And the substitutes, David Heron, who's never been to the final of this competition, and John Hamer, and the coach is Peter Fox. And there he is, the Bradford Northern coach, a man who hopes to crown an excellent season here at Odsal with a place in the Old Trafford Jamboree. Castleford have Ellis at fullback, Smith, Blackmore, Smith, that's Tony Smith, Middleton, Stedman and Ford, and the forwards, Crooks the captain, Russell, Sampson, Kettridge, Hay and Nickow. And their substitutes, Ian Smales and Nathan Sykes, a 19-year-old, and John Joyner is their coach. And Joyner has had an excellent first year at Castleford. The match referee is John Connolly, current referee of the year from Wigan. Who will be the referee of the year this time round? We'll find out on Tuesday at the Man of Steel dinner in Leeds. And don't forget, you'll be able to see highlights of the Man of Steel dinner in Boots and All next Thursday. There's a possible First Division player of the year, Richard Blackmore, the Kiwi, 9 New Zealand caps, 2 tries against Halifax on Sky last Friday. A big game here at Odsal this afternoon. Conditions not good. It's been raining heavily all day. Very muddy underfoot. But with players like Graham Stedman on view today, well, anything can happen, and this could really be an absolute classic once again. It's the Stones bit of Premiership second semi-final from Odsal. Bradford against Castleford. Castleford get the game underway. First touch from Derek Fox to Paul Dixon, and immediately crunching tackles on the Bradford forward.
Heavy conditions, Eddie, and as far as I'm concerned, that should give the favour to Bradford slightly. Very strong and big pack on the Bradford side.
Kicking game will be important in conditions like this, and Derek Fox punts the ball downfield into the Castleford quarter, picked up by St John Ellis. Good chase from the Bradford Northern players, Roy Powell and Paul Medley leading the race.
Good kick from Derek Fox, utilising this strong wind that will be to the advantage of Bradford in the first half. And the wind is actually going towards that far corner that Fox picked out.
Ball is dropped, or was it stolen from Dean Sampson? The referee said it was stolen by Carl Fairbank. First penalty to Castleford.
You can just see the fingertips right at the last minute. Well,
I think it was Dixon, actually.
Fairbank had his left hand on the shirt. That's why he looked bewildered at the referee, John Connolly. Perhaps that was just a straight drop, but not according to the referee. There you see it. Just dropped it. Slippy conditions, of course. The ball will be like a bar of soap.
Dean Sampson gets the benefit of the doubt and then gets the first pass from the restart. Castleford midway now inside the Bradford northern half of the field. Difficult conditions out there, difficult conditions also for our cameras today. Lots of rain on the lenses, but I'm sure that they will pick out the moments of what will be a great match here. 2 minutes gone. Castleford in possession. That's the second row. Martin Kettridge, man of the match, remember, in the Regal final against Wigan. Here's Lee Crooks, who had a huge game that day. Last tackle here for Castleford. They're 12 metres from the line. Mike Ford will dab it into the corner. Watson was there and read that situation perfectly. Watson makes about 15 yards before he's hauled down.
Well, the idea was right. Mike Ford realised in wet conditions anything can happen. But as you mentioned, David Watson read that perfectly. Good position.
Here's Paul Gratian. An interesting fact about Gratian is his dad, Jeff, today is playing up at Workington in the second division semi-final for Backley. Could be quite a day for the Gratian family at Old Trafford next week. What about that run then from Dixon? Knocked the one Castleford player back about 10 yards with the push on his chest. Trevor Clark hanging on for Bradford Northern. It's Watson, the acting halfback. His kick into Castleford territory. Collected by Simon Middleton, the winger. Middleton to the edge of the 20-metre mark.
Good work from Bradford there. We saw the forwards carted up for about 40 metres. Then Watson chimed into the back line and put a perfect kick into the corner.
Castleford, this is the 8th consecutive season that they have played in this top 8 Premiership, and Taweranico dropped that ball. That will be a scrum. There's no doubt that a hand was involved in that.
Not happy with it. Taweranico wasn't the best play the ball either. But as he stood up to play the ball, it definitely slipped out.
Quite a few people on the terraces wearing Bradford Northern's colours told the referee what the decision should be, and he concurs. Fox feeds the scrum, then spins the ball to Summers. Little dab forward from Summers. It was a good idea because Watson was up there, and Taweranico's flying boots here catching Neil Summers in the face.
Bit unlucky there for Summers. The ball did not skid through. It hit a rut and stopped on the end.
The long kick downfield. Watson just lollops after it. He knows that the advancing players must give him 10 metres grace. Now they can move in for the kill on the tackle because Hall has it. It took something to get him down, and Blackmore there was swinging with both arms. So there's going to be no love lost here, Steve-O. Blackmore in again quickly on Dixon.
They mean business. Nick Howe doing a bit of a facial there. Dixon not happy. That's not the best pass either. They really are under pressure, Bradford, now. This Castleford defence is getting on top.
Referee, though, has pinned Castleford for offside. The line then was like a dog's hind leg.
They were keen, and Taweranico was the culprit. He went far too early. You cannot advance until the ball has actually been played with the foot.
Talking last night, Steve-O, to Lee Crooks, the Castleford captain, he was very wary of the fact that Bradford have won nothing yet so far this season, despite the fact that they've had a wonderful run in the big league. And he's just a little bit concerned from a Castleford point of view that Bradford might be the eager to win here today.
Well, it won't be an easy task for either side, but with these conditions, Bradford have proven this season that they can play very good, solid football when it's wet. They defeated Wigan here in awful conditions, so they'll be pretty confident that they can repeat it and get to the final.
This is Furbank. Face to face with Crooks. Andy Hay is there as well. Mike Ford now coming in, but takes something to bring Carl Furbank down. That's the last tackle for Bradford. They are 12 metres from the line. This is Roy Powell, who'll dab it forward. Middleton is there to clear up the danger, gets out of trouble, and then is hauled down by the half-back combination, Summers and Fox. But a good kick forward by Roy Powell.
Well, it may have been a good one, but it wasn't good enough for Bradford's sake because Derek Fox was screaming at the prop forward. It should have been fed to him straight away, but Powell elected to run from dummy half.
These two sides have met each other 3 times this season. Bradford won both in the big league, but Castleford won the Regal Trophy semi-final here. on New Year's Day. And Bradford there caught offside at the play of the ball. Just a bit too eager to move up. But look at the line, they're all in front of the referee.
Well, a big problem also is that Trevor Clark never made any movement to come back to the referee. Quite often players do forget to look to see where the referee is standing. You can't make your own mark, you have to go back. Smile on the face of John Connolly.
He got one in the face. He's covered in mud down the right cheek. The referee of the year is caked in mud. Well, he had a laugh about that, but he's very stern now, marshalling that Bradford defence back. This is Andy Hay with the run.
Nice play from Castleford using the dummy runner.
And this is Tony Smith, and he gets it away to Nick Howe, who in turn finds Sampson, and Sampson drops it under pressure. And Watson now will try and run the ball out for Bradford. Spins it into the arms of Summers, who is then met face-to-face by Lee Crooks.
Good play by Sampson there. He made the break, but he was trying to get the ball around the man. And it just slipped away. He'd no control over it. But very impressed with the way that Castleford are using the dummy runner.
And the referee penalises Nick Howe, then takes a bit of a back chat from Nick Howe and marches them back 10 metres.
Well, there's little doubt about it. Kiwi loose forward, interfering all the time. Few choice words to John Connolly. Connolly says we'll have another 10.
And so Bradford now are deep in Castleford territory. The rain on the lens of our cameras really tells its own story. It's misty, it's rainy, it's chilly. A far cry from Central Park on Friday night when we really did have summer rugby. Bradford in possession with Summers, then out to Dixon. Good defence from Castleford again. Carl Hall is the acting halfback. He's 10 metres from the line. 27 tries this season for Hall, 18 of them for Doncaster. But he's been in great scoring form since he arrived here. And that was a reacher by Derek Fox, and he couldn't get the fingertips to it.
Well, you could see the ball was spiralling away from him. But I think Derek Fox was going through the motions of getting the kick in well before the ball had actually arrived. Just a lack of concentration. Big pressure out there.
So Castleford get the head and feed. Ford scurries away from the scrum, finds Steadman. Steadman calls Blackmore into him. The Kiwi runs straight at David Watson. The tackle was not completed. Blackmore wants to get on with it quickly. He gets it to Ford again. Ford under pressure, and Sampson and Andy Hay rather under pressure. And the Castleford forward, Steve-O, although it's difficult conditions, are not hanging on to this ball.
Well, they're trying to play dry football in wet conditions, forcing the pass. Completely the opposite from Bradford. They're quite content just to cart the ball forward, try to get over the advantage line and use the kicking game.
Scrum goes down, courtesy of Castleford's third handling error of the match. Watson has it for Bradford. That's Summers. He fires out the long pass to Shelford. Shelford into Castleford half of the field. Shelford a try last week against Leeds. This is Newlove, an outstanding season for Paul Newlove. They said he couldn't score in the First Division after his wonderful efforts last year for Featherstone. He's proved them wrong. 36 tries for Paul Newlove. Here's Dixon wrestling with Blackmore, gets the ball away well to Roy Powell. Powell will take it up all day for you. 3 Castleford players bring him down. Watson's there, anxious to get on with it. And both sides trying to milk penalties there. Powell first, then Nick Howe. John Connolly totally unimpressed. Gratian hanging on there for Bradford. The dummy half is Clark. He'll spin it this way to Fox, who then finds Newlove. Newlove tries to step inside the challenge of Hay. Does well to keep the ball alive by finding Dixon. Dixon's got Fairbank there. It bounces kindly for Fairbank, who scores a try. Mike Ford tried to intercept. It slipped through the scrum half's hands and straight into the arms of Fairbank.
Good, solid forward football. That's what they needed. And that's what they got. It was Newlove that made the first impression. They couldn't get him down. He keeps the ball alive. And a good step and dummy there from Dixon. He really did get through to it. Now he forced the pass and Mike Ford had it and then lost it, and Fairbank says thank you very much indeed. But Mike Ford just can't believe it. But good work from Newlove. He kept this ball alive, but look at the step here from Dixon. Throws the dummy. Blackmore is all at sea. He really shouldn't have forced that pass, but they got away with it, and Fairbank gleefully accepts the 4.
Carl Fairbank, a try against Leeds last week. 1 here today, and now Derek Fox to try and add to that tally. And he does. 1, 3, 6 goals now for Derek Fox, and 6 points here today for Bradford. Good start.
You can see how Newlove has attracted so many players to him, but still gets the ball away. Once the step is in there, he's through. But there you can see Mike Ford. He touched the ball with both hands and still couldn't grab it in.
Carl Fairbank, great try number 14 of the season for him. And remember, he scored a try against Wigan last month that gave them the win, Bradford Northern, here in, I was going to say similar conditions, but there really was nothing similar today to the conditions that night. It was a night for ducks again. But this is Medley, and he's done this so often this season. And the roaring run, and then he loses his footing. Lost his footing, and Sampson came in as he regained his feet. Sampson makes a play. That's a penalty. That's not allowed. The ball was not touching the ground.
It has to touch the floor first. Sampson thought that it had, but he just reefs the ball with his right foot. The penalty had to come, and you could see there that Paul Medley, not happy about it, decided to throw a little right hook. He lost his marbles on that occasion, but it was a great run. And the Castleford defence a little bit slow to go down and bring down the big second rower. There you see it, that's the run there. Tony Smith didn't complete the tackle. He's got plenty of pace.
Bradford have taken the tap penalty. Gratian will drive it in for them. An early penalty going Bradford's way, 4-2. We've had less than 14 minutes, 6 penalties. That's how important Old Trafford is to these two sides.
Bradford are playing very patient football. They're not forcing the passes. They're making sure that if it's on, let it go. But if it's 50-50, keep hold.
They're inside the 10-metre mark. They're with Fox now and Summers. They're loading up over here. Summers sees a gap, and Summers gets through it. They're dancing on the terraces at Oldham at Bradford.
What a beautiful dummy from Neil Summers. The sliding defence failed to come across. It was Graham Steadman that missed it, but Summers gleefully slides through the mud patch. Long ball out wide. There you see it. Steadman couldn't close it up. Blackmore had shifted out wide, and the sliding defence failed miserably.
Well, they might be dancing at Oldham. They're certainly dancing here at Bradford. A tremendous try from Neil Summers. What an excellent signing he has been for this club. His 21st try of the season. And a try in the win over Castleford here last month. It's a perfect start, this, for Bradford. Just what Dr. Peter Fox ordered. Derek Fox has tried to drift that into the post on the wind, but failed. But it's a 10-0 lead that Bradford Northern have over their local rivals.
See the adult player there, that's Graham Steadman. He did not slide away across quick enough, and Summers was quick enough to go through the gap. Blackmore had gone out wide too. If you miss it, you pay the price.
Splash down for Neil Summers, and that kick-off bounced into the midriff of Gratian. Well, Bradford have the possession, and they're now in charge with Watson. Castleford with a lot to do now, 10 points down. Powell, and I must say, Steve-O, in the opening 16 minutes of this, Bradford have looked eager for this Premiership final spot.
Certainly, but more importantly, they have respected possession. They have not forced the pass. All the attack from Castleford, they've tried to play fancy football. Bradford are using their big forwards to the full advantage.
St John Ellis, 40 tries this season, just 3 ahead now of Martin of Fire. Look at the possession that Bradford have had in the opening 16 minutes here. And they've made good use of it, haven't they, leading 10-0.
I get the impression that the Castleford coach, John Joyner, would have sent the message out very quickly. Let's get this tackling sorted out. They're missing far too many of Castleford defence.
Nowhere for Stedman to go, and he's being forced back by Clark's challenge. Bradford believe that they are the side that really can take on Wigan in the final and give us a match to remember. But Lee Crooks is trying to drive his men forward here.
Well, you could see the determination there. 2 players applying the pressure to Crooks. He got a good kick in eventually. But that just shows you the difference between the 2 sides at the moment, is that Bradford are really fired up. Castleford, their defence is woeful at the moment.
Derek Fox gets it. 2 men haul him down. Kettridge and the prop forward Sampson, they shot out of the scrum. Caudle couldn't make any progress then. Summers to Shelford. He will make progress. These are great runs from Bradford. They are getting over the advantage line so often. Fox. Fairbank now. Again he's through them. Tosses the ball up in the air. That was too risky.
Well, that really wasn't on. The gamble in there. Too much heavy traffic. Fairbank making a big mistake. And he knows it. Especially with Bradford leading 10-0. Derek Fox would have wanted that so he could get the ball downfield. A big kick.
Notice Carl Fairbank had a little wry look out of the corner of his eye to Peter Fox on the bench. I think Peter Fox's look would have said it all. Crooks now in possession for Castleford. And here's Kettridge. Gets the ball away well to Ford. Ford trying to dance his way through. But
there's a fight on in the background. Tony Smith. The touch judge is on. There was punches being thrown in the back play. Tony Smith threw one. And I think Gerald Caudle came flying in, or was it Daryl Shelford? No knockout. But it was the first round. The bells were ringing. They were really into it.
Touch judge on very quickly. He saw it as well. Let's see whether we can... Oh, there it is.
Tony Smith with the elbow, and then when the player went on, they really did get stuck into each other.
It was Neil Summers, I think, who was involved.
Summers throws one. Tony Smith goes back. Ding, ding, they're at it.
The result of all this is a penalty to Castleford. The use of the forearm in the first instance. And Lee Crooks fancies his chances here to pull Castleford back to within 8 points. We've got some great goal kickers in the big league, haven't we? 2 of them on show here today. There's Tony Smith, who got the penalty, but Lee Crooks with the penalty here for Castleford, and his coach John Joyner chewing in concentrated fashion on the gun. Crooks cool as a cucumber despite the noise that rolled down from the Odsal terraces. 10-2. Midway through this first half then, Castleford, they get themselves on the scoreboard. Eight points the lead. Fox restarts. Mike Ford picks up. He sends Andy Hay away. That's Chris Smith, the 18-year-old winger. Nick out. Oh, that looked a mile forward, and the referee says it was. Great roar off the terraces.
Well, it was very delayed, wasn't it? And that was enough to get the ball away. 50-50, but the crowd roared. It was enough for the referee, John Connolly, to say it was forward.
Yes, that made his mind up conclusively. It's Bradford who are in possession. Their assistant coach, Nigel Stevenson's with Bill.
Nigel, you've taken 2 chances that came your way very well.
Yeah, we started off well. I mean, 22 minutes, we've got 10 points up. But we've just given away a stupid penalty that we can't afford to do, and that's the last we're going to give away.
Yeah, I think the message was going out that you don't want to see any more indiscipline like that.
Well, it's wet weather cup-tie football. You can't make cutters and you can't give penalties away against a side as good as Castleford. We've started off well. We've got to continue in the same vein.
It seems as though Bradford Northern are really fired up for this. You want that place.
We want to go to a final. We've had a tremendous season. Everybody knows that. Nearly won the title, done well in the league. But we need to get to a final and win a trophy, and this is his last chance.
Yes, this is the last chance for Bradford and Castleford to get through to Old Trafford. Premiership final next week. You can see it on Sky Sports, don't forget. We shall be there at Old Trafford. Hope you will be too. If not, one of the best places to be in front of a TV set watching the fun and games. And there will be some fun and games too, I'm sure.
Much better play from Castleford now. The passes are sticking.
Sampson gets the ball out to Middleton. He comes back inside with the defence sliding across. But that's good play from Paul Gratian to haul him down. Blackmore went to kick that ball forward. I rather fancy that came off a Bradford Northern player, and it did. They're back to 0 on the tackle count now, Castleford.
There you can see it was Richie Daryl Shelford, should I say, his hand that got it in the way.
Castleford now inside the 10-metre zone. Tony Smith to Tawera Nikau. Short ball to Andy Hay. Castleford examining this defence. That ball untidily played, and Bradford have it back.
Well, they were both fighting for it, weren't they? St. John Ellis and Nikau. That's just lack of concentration. Panic football, and you can't afford it when it's slippy like that. Both wanted to set up from the dummy half position. Result, a real blunder.
Caudle in possession for Bradford. Clark now the dummy half, who finds Paul Gratian. It'd be quite a day, wouldn't it, if Dad Jeff is also at Old Trafford next week? It really would. Fox with the kick downfield. That's good play because it makes Castleford retreat into their own 20-metre zone. Now, St. John Ellis, anxious to get on the try scoring chart today, I'm sure. Andy Hay, good run, great support from young Chris Smith. Oh, and the Castleford man been taken out in back play. Smith is there, through Medley, through Summers. What a wonderful try from the young 18-year-old winger. Sensational stop from Chris Smith.
Boy, they don't come any better than this. The big second rower, Andy Hay, provided the pass. The young wingman came inside, and look at the step there. It slipped to David Watson. Medley, I think, had an attempt to get to him. Inside, outside, they went too high, and that is a great 4-pointer. Super play, run from the dummy half. No second marker working on that occasion. But look at this youngster go. Nice step at the right moment. Medley couldn't get to him, and look how Summers went high. Get out of the way. I'm over.
Great stuff from Chris Smith. An Academy International, graduating with honours, and Crooks has turned his 4 into 6. And Castleford now have closed the gap, 10 points to 8. Fats in the fire at Odsal.
There you can see there's no second marker. The one man goes on the blind side. Hey, he goes on the inside. They got caught there. Beautiful pass. Exceptional support play. But watch the step. That is talent. Great stuff. Great finish.
Yes, a wonderful try. One of the best that we've seen on the big league this season, and from a youngster too. Only 18 years old. There was a hint of an obstruction in the back play as Smith was making his run. But John Connolly saw it and obviously played the advantage with Smith in such an advantageous position. And didn't he do well?
He certainly did, but I'm sure the message from Peter Fox to the Bradford side is that make sure we work on that second marker. They were caught without one, and good work from the second row, Andy Hay. He took full advantage.
Mike Ford drills the ball into the corner, too deep, runs touching goal. Bradford will restart with a tap on their own 20-metre line.
It's a favourite ground for the tactical kickers. With the speedway ground, the corners go right up, so the ball often is held back, but a little bit too strong on that occasion from Ford.
That ball's come free. Castleford have it back. That was high from Medley. Mike Ford looking round, wondering what hit him. It was a juggernaut called Paul Medley.
It's a cruncher, this one. This is where the ball slips out. Fairbank on the first occasion. It's getting warm. His arm swinging all over the joint.
And the crowd are screaming for a forward pass on every occasion. Connolly is unimpressed. Richard Russell with that dart forward. Crooks is the dummy half. Here's Mike Ford. Now Graham Steadman drills it into the corner. Caudle's missed it. Oh, well, so close. Caudle makes a meal of it.
Oh, second time lucky, Gerald. Well done. He knew he'd made the mistake, but he recovered well. Let's get it out of here.
And it was St. John Ellis who was searching for the try right behind him. Playing full back at the moment. Bit of a rejig has had to be made. Here's Ellis again, by the way. But a rejig had to be made by John Joyner when Tony Kemp was ruled out for the rest of the season. Steadman to stand off half and St. John Ellis back to full back. But the tries have not stopped coming for Ellis. 8 in his last 6.
You can see how Castleford have changed their tempo. They're just doing the basics now, making sure that that pass sticks.
Lovely run through from Tony Smith. Another try, Castleford. It's got to be... Well, I think that Tony Smith touched the line with that, and the line is a try. Oh, he dropped it.
I'm not so sure. All it needs is downward pressure with any part of the hand, and the fingertips were still on it, and that is a try. I don't think he lost it at all. Still got the fingers to it. You can see the fingers roll down the football. To be fair to referee John Connolly and the touch judges, they don't have slow motion replays.
And he was right there, Connolly. He was, to use one of yours, Johnny on the spot.
He was going to give it, and then looked at the touch judge. Touch judge said no. Who's the referee these days? It's supposed to help.
Well, I don't know how the touch judge could even decide from there. Look at the crowd of players all round him.
That was a try for mine, but it won't be in the newspapers tomorrow, so forget about it.
10-8 it stays then. Bradford ahead. They've had a bit of an escape there. Can they turn it to good use? Fairbank barges Nicow out the way, and Nicow says you're not getting away that easily. The possession has swung directly round. Castleford enjoying the better of things at the moment. Shelford will hack the ball forward. Oh, if that would have stayed in play, Carl Hall was after it.
Nice play by the Kiwi Shelford there. Electing to get the ball through. Just didn't get the right bounce. You could see the open space that Carl Hall had in front. St. John Ellis was way out of line.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Castleford trailing by 10 points to 8. In possession. St. John Ellis called for that. Good tackling by Bradford again. Shelford and Newlove working hard around the play of the ball, and Castleford pen at the moment. Richard Russell. Good play from Paul Gratian to bring him down.
That's the type of play that Castleford have to look for. Once again, we see the little halfback Richard Russell, the hooker, make plenty of ground from the dummy half, and in these conditions, that is a vital key factor.
Steadman with the left foot. Just drills it over the top. That will not run dead. That's aiming for those corners there that Steve-O was talking about earlier on. So Watson will have to run this out. And he's trapped right on his own try line.
That was a great kick and chase there. 3 men straight into Watson. And his arm swinging. They're at it again.
Watson and Dean Sampson.
Seconds out. Ding, ding. Let's get into it.
Watson saying that Sampson used the elbow. It now is all down to what the touch judge saw.
Definite elbow there, and again, Watson throws one. Dixon throws one too. Definite elbow, push out of the way, then a second one. We can do without that, and really Sampson should be penalised, and I think he will be. Well, the same touch judge gave the thumbs down for the try to the centre, Tony Smith. This is how it started. You can see that Watson, you're not allowed to interfere, but Watson just pushed into him, and Sampson retaliated, and so often the retaliator, and I think he's going to have a bit of a rest.
10 minutes in the bin for Dean Sampson. Steve-O, I think you're getting through to these referees. They're using the yellow card for foul play.
And so they should. It's not called a sin bin for nothing. Not a technical bin, it's a sin. If thy sin, get off.
To the bin. And that's where Dean Sampson has gone. So Castleford down to 12 men for 10 minutes. That means they will play out the remainder of this half and a little bit at the start of the second half. A man down. Here's the incident again. There's the first one from Sampson.
He'd have got away with that. It's the second one that he went maliciously with the elbow. That's what's going the 10 minutes in the sin bin. But to be fair, David Watson did interfere. You're not allowed to do that when you played the ball. But the retaliator got caught.
The gap is 2 points as we approach half-time. It's going to be a big 6 minutes or so for Castleford with one man down, and the gaps will appear like that from Summers. But Nickow did well to track him and pull him down.
Did he ever? It was a great tackle from Nickow. He read it well.
Kick downfield into that corner, that sloping corner. Middleton must run the ball out here. Great run from Shelford to pin the winger down. Big pressure on Castleford here. Ellis can go nowhere other than backwards.
Good kick and chase, good defence.
And great defence from Bradford. Castleford can't get away. Brooks with a long pass. This is Andy Hay. Keeps the ball alive. That's good play. Blackmore just pulled that ball and he's lost it there. But he went backwards. Although the referee has a look at the touch judge and says it is the knock-on.
Well, I think it's 2 or 3 to have a go at. First instant, you can see that it was interfered with there. Neil Summers, I feel, got the fingertips to it. Sorry, should I say the prop forward, Roy Powell. Touch judge missed that one, but didn't miss the knock-on. This is real pressure for Castleford.
Fox feeds, Fox gets it out to Summers.
Well, this is where the kicking game of Derek Fox surely will come into play.
This is big pressure on Castleford, no doubt about it. Derek Fox is waiting, plotting. Just at the right of your screen, in possession now. Gets the ball away. Good ball. Good run too. Third bank. In the mud at Odsall. Watson is there. So is Powell. Powell drops it. He thought about releasing the pass first time, then decided against it, and then the ball just slipped out. Knock on.
Well, he was looking for support there. There was no one that was coming, and then it just dropped.
Was he facing his own line, though?
The ball was knocked forward. You can't get away with it just because you're facing your own line. The ball is knocked forward. It's a knock-on.
4 minutes to half-time. Ford feeds and then gives the ball to Chris Smith.
Well, it's desperation stuff from Castleford there. They really were on the rack. With full credit to them, their defence held out. Was Castleford quite happy to realise in the second half they will have this strong wind to their advantage. We've seen Bradford kick with it right into that far corner.
Lovely run. Tony Smith. Good ball inside. Brilliantly picked up by Mike Ford. Kicks it forward. It was all he could do. It was a tremendous run and chase from Trevor Clark.
Good play by Clark, but you can see how Smith wasn't the best pass, and Ford took it magnificently. Caudle just got to him just when he was about to make impact with the football. Well, under these conditions, it's turning out to be a classic.
Really is a great game. Here's Clark, now Hall. Ball spins out. Clark picks up and says, John Connolly, play on. Bradford midway inside their own half with Fox. Now Roy Powell. Just 2.5 minutes. Just 1.5 minutes rather to half-time. Oh no, I was right. 2.5 minutes to go. Math's never a strong point, I'm afraid.
Just getting to the end of the season, Eddie. We're all tired, including the players. But they're really giving it their full effort out there.
Well, it's a big prize, isn't it, Old Trafford? They all want to be there next Sunday, Premiership Finals Day. Let's hope the grey skies disappear and we have sunshine for the end of the season. I'm sure we will. And a little dig from St. John Ellis on Neil Summers. Referee says, come on, let's get on with it. Mike Ford, good ball. Tony Smith, great tackle again. Shelford. Middleton. Ford hoists the high kick. Blackmore's after this. Oh, and luckily for Bradford, Newlove was there, but he has been tackled behind his own line.
Takes it well, Newlove there, but you can see the impact of the tackle. Ford and Blackmore came through and slid him across. Newlove feels that the tackle had been completed within the field of play, but if you're still moving the momentum, it's play on.
Now St. John Ellis for a run. But not a terribly determined run from Ellis on that occasion. 1 minute to go now in this first half. Chris Smith, scorer of that sensational try that really has put Castleford back in the hunt here. Kettridge still.
Been a good effort from Castleford, down to 12 men. They've ridden the storm out well.
Nick Howe is through one. Ball inside to Tony Smith. Look for the support, but what a tremendous tackle from David Watson. That's save 4. Can he save 4 again here? He and 3 others do. Quick play the ball from Castleford. Too quick.
Well, you could see there that Trevor Clark, the hooker, was well offside. You're supposed to be behind the line. Look at him there. You've got to be behind the line.
Well, the crowd disagree, but there is no doubt at all. He's not given the penalty. He's given
the knock on.
It looked like he'd given the penalty at first, but all he's done is given Castleford head and feet at the scrum. Well, can they make use of it with Nick Howe, who drops it?
Now, what on earth did he try to get the ball away from there? In the first tackle from the scrum. Oh, it was knocked there. Summers got a fingertip to it. Well, it's all action. Pressure not only on these players, but on the referees and the touch judges. Some they see, some they don't.
Summers with the run. A good job that the chaser was there, Ellis. Now Trevor Clark again. But a couple of decisions there, Steve-O, right on half-time that's gone against Castleford.
Well, they have a way of evening themselves out, normally. But I'm sure Castleford will be quite happy to have ridden out the storm with the man in the sin bin and go in at half-time and regroup. Only 2 points down, they'll be quite happy. Remember, Bradford raced to a 10-0 lead.
Powell forced back by the impact of the collision from Nicow. Here's Fox, just dabs it forward and picks it up himself.
That'll be the handover. No.
Now the crowd were telling John Connolly that a Castleford player touched the ball. He signalled 5, then looked at the crowd and also his touch judge and wiped the tackle count clean. So Bradford can continue. Well, it really is all happening here. The crowd are now telling the referee what's going on.
Well, he didn't look to have been touched by a Castleford player there, but makes no difference.
Now this is Fox. Another dab forward. Caudle looked to me to be in front of that ball. No matter anyway. St Giles was there and the referee has now agreed with me. Caudle was offside.
Just a yard in front before the kick was put through.
He's just out of the picture. There he is.
He's not that fast.
Well, he's pretty quick, Gerald Caudle, the 33-year-old. Trying both league games, by the way, against Castleford. Ooh.
What a great tackle from the hooker, Trevor Clark.
It's the last action of this first half, and what a first half it's been. Chris Smith scored one of the tries in the season to put Castleford back in the hunt here. But Fairbank got Bradford Northern rolling early on. And then we had the try from Neil Summers, but it's a super contest in the most dreadful conditions. Bradford 10, Castleford 8 at the break. So it's all to play for here at Odsal in the second half. Bradford ahead by 10 points to 8. But who is for Old Trafford and the Premiership final against Wigan next Sunday? Big prize. And lots of rugby to be played. It's been a classic match so far, and 40 minutes of high-quality entertainment lie ahead of us. Of that, I am sure. And it's Nicow in possession for Castleford. Good ball for Tony Smith, but he is grounded by Roy Powell. Dean Sampson, by the way, is now back on the field for Castleford. The 10 minutes in the sin bin having been served, courtesy of the couple of minutes injury time at the end of the first half.
Just a little knock on there from the loose forward, Carl Fairbank. Crowd not happy, not surprisingly.
Ford with the feed at the scrum for Castleford. Stedman picks it up, then gives it to Blackmore. And Blackmore has just lost the ball.
Well, he played it, and a Bradford player came through with his foot. Oh, just lost it completely. Went to the side there, it just rolled away. And then you see the Bradford player kick it away. Right decision from the referee, lost it.
An offside at the scrum against Castleford. It moved up far too quickly. Moved inside the 10, there it is again. Crooked line, wasn't it? Derek Fox, words of encouragement for his teammates as Paul Gratian takes it up for them. Dean Sampson, his first tackle of this second half, and there's the second on Roy Powell with a bit of help from Richard Russell. Clark to Fox to Summers, and here's Fairbank. And that was to nobody in particular. And they're lucky to get away with that, courtesy of Carl Hall.
Well, it's the side in this second half that make the least mistakes that are going to go to Old Trafford. Wet conditions. Safety first has got to be the key. Possession vital. And play out your full 6.
Fox to Newlove, met by Blackmore. The best of British against the best from New Zealand. Fox, little crossfield diagonal kick over his shoulder again, but this time Castleford were alert to that. Chris Smith mopped up the danger. Now Sam Middleton will try and run it away from his own line.
Good position there from Chris Smith. Realises the kick from Derek Fox, runs one way and kicks it diagonal back across the face. Well read by the young winger.
Stedman, good ball to Nick Howe, striding through, and that was well taken. And again by Blackmore. Picked that up off his toes, but good scrambling defence from Gratian and Neil Summers to bring the Kiwi down.
It had to be. It was very dangerous play by Castleford. Once again, they're quite happy to try to play wide football, dry condition football.
Ford with the kick over the top, and it sails out on the full. The Castleford scrum half has his hands on his hips. He's disgusted with himself for this kick.
That was good pressure, though, from the second row of Paul Dixon.
Watson in possession for Bradford on the 10-metre line in the Castleford half of the field. Trevor Clark is the dummy half. Roy Powell now.
Well, the defences are pretty strong on both sides, and that's where I'd be looking towards a little chip over.
Dixon.
Trying to split this defence with something different.
Incredibly, Steve-O, we're watching today the two best attacking teams in the First Division, but it is the defences who are winning their stripes so far this afternoon. Between them, these two sides have amassed over 1,500 points in the big league this season. Mueller gets the ball away one-handed, but the mistake came again, and here's St. John Ellis.
Mueller got the ball back inside there, but was he taken before he got the ball there? Gerald Caldwell seemed to have someone riding on his back.
Offside against Bradford.
That's a bad mistake there. Over eagerness. Really has allowed them, you can see there's quite a few of them to select. Composure, that's what's needed. No panic. The side that grits it out will come out winners, I'm sure.
Downstairs to Bill.
Bradford making the change that Peter Fox indicated they'd make fairly soon in this second half. Off comes number 12, Paul Medley. On goes experienced 36-year-old Dave Herron. He's been in plenty of Premiership semi-finals, but yet to taste that Old Trafford feeling.
Absolutely. He's lost 6 semi-finals with Leeds. He's never been to the final of this major competition, and Wembley also has passed David Herron by. So a chance here for Herron to go out with a bang. 36 years old, but that's another mistake from Castleford.
Forcing the pass there, Stedman really. And the hooker, Richard Russell, made a real mess of that. Could be a bad mistake. It could swing the game too.
This is Watson with a typical scuttling run. Picks out St. John Ellis, but Ellis wraps him all up and then dumps him to the floor. This is Summers again. On the halfway line, he is grounded. Another word about David Herron. The closest he came to the Premiership glory was 1980. He scored 2 tries in a 2-leg semi-final, and they still lost 17 points to 18. So he's been so close. That's a knock-on by Powell. And if we get any more mistakes like this from Bradford, he will be close again and not there.
Bad mistake. Just took his eyes off the ball, lost the concentration.
Castleford with possession from the scrum, courtesy of Blackmore. Now here's Russell. Loses his footing.
It was a feature of the first half, especially late in that first 40 minutes from the hooker, Richard Russell. Some good runs from the dummy half area, making inroads, and that's what they need, Castleford.
Here's Nick Howe, spins away from 2 challengers, but they're all after him again. Oh, and there's a swinging arm there from Trevor Clark, and Nick Howe quite rightly is upset. Play continues with Russell.
Well, he had 2 goes at him, did the hooker, Trevor Clark. First time he didn't make contact, second one he did.
Stedman, left-footed, dabs it forward, and Gratian was there. Did he lose it? But this is the incident.
Well, he just pushed him away there, but there was no doubt in my mind that Clark definitely threw a punch, and Bradford have made a meal of it and made a bad mistake.
Yes, they've made another error here.
There's a kick through from Stedman. Prop forward Paul Gratian went down for it and then just lost it.
So it's Castleford who are on the attack with St. John Ellis. He stopped 10 metres from the line by David Heron, the Neely man in the Premiership. Will this be David Heron and Bradford Northern's day? Will it be Castleford? Castleford trailing by the 2 points, but exerting pressure here. 8 minutes into the second half. Hay with the run. Good defence from Bradford, keeping Castleford about 10 metres from the line. They've made very little progress. That's how close they are, though, now. Stedman, the dummy half. High ball into the arms of Ford. Ford invites Tony Smith for a run, but great tackle by Fairbank. And in those set of 6, they've gone backwards of Castleford, not forwards. They're trying to run this, though, now. Out inside of the boot from Lee Crooks, and it's Caudle there to hack it dead. So in the end, they do make progress because they'll get the ball back.
Excellent play there from Lee Crooks. On the last tackle, applying the pressure. You can see how the corner just rides up. It's an ideal opportunity to just punch that ball into it, but good play by Caudle.
This is the third successive set of 6 tackles coming up for Castleford. Bradford have weathered the last 12, and now they've weathered 13. Blackmore, the dummy half, trying to make progress on his own. He does this time, but he's tight to the touch line, and he's going to be pushed into touch, is he? No, he just manages to apply the air brakes and stay in the field of play. Castleford rolling forward again then. Chris Smith is crunched by David Heron.
The substitute read it well there. Crunch time, bang.
Ford. Stedman tucks the ball under the arm and scampers forward, but good play by little Derek Fox, the Bradford Northern captain and scrum half. He is Kettridge. Kettridge turns the ball back to Hay. He keeps the movement going to Sampson. Sampson's through one, gets it over the top. Middleton, try! Castleford hit the front.
Tremendous run from the prop forward, Dean Sampson. Through the dummy there, Summers just couldn't get him out. Hay gets back inside. Now look at the big prop forward. He just says to Powell, get out of the way. Lobs the ball over to Middleton. He loves those opportunities. Safety first. Keeping the ball alive. Kettridge it was first. Hay. And then the big prop forward. That is strength. Sampson says get a ball out wide, and Middleton does the rest. Good play. Kettridge first. The impact. Back inside the second rower, Hay. But look at the strength here from Sampson. Uses the thigh. Powell could not hold him. Drags the man inside. Shelford had no chance.
And that was Simon Middleton's first try in 6.5 matches. And it equals his best ever return in the season. 19 now for this campaign. Lee Crooks has hit 2 from 2. This by far the most difficult. Tight on the touchline, just a metre in from touch. But on the right side for the right-footed Crooks, he gave it a chance, but it didn't reach the posts. So from a 2-point deficit to a 2-point advantage for Castleford. 10 points to 12, and Alan Agar passing on the message from John Joyner.
It's all about keeping the ball alive, and you can see how Kettridge keeps that pass inside. The big second rower there, they were slow to come through. Powell just could not connect properly. One-handed pass out wide. Excellent play.
And while we were watching that conversion attempt by Lee Crooks, Castleford have made a change. Richard Russell, their hooker, has gone off, and he's been replaced by Nathan Sykes, another of the outstanding youngsters rolling off the big league production line. Sykes is only 19. An Academy International, yet another of them. And haven't we seen some brilliant youngsters in the big league during this campaign on Sky?
Well, all I can think of is that there must be something wrong with the hooker, Richard Russell. He's been one of the main players for Castleford today, making plenty of inroads from the dummy half position.
News from Bill Arthur, Steve-O, is that Richard Russell's got a rib injury. And so you're right. It isn't a tactical change. But good runs from Castleford there to chase the kick. Watson really had nowhere to go.
Simple basic football from Castleford at the start of this second half. They played 3 sets of 6, kicking into the corner on every occasion. And the third time they came up trumps with a try. It's all about applying the pressure, and it paid off for them.
Good kick downfield. Ellis was underneath that. The ball went backward, says the referee. So play on. Vital moments for the coaches. Peter Fox in the Bradford Northern duckout. And John Joyner watching from the touchline. Middleton. Snared by David Heron. Ford continues the movement this way. Sampson, but he's got nowhere to go with Furbank round his neck and with Shelford round his ankles. Here's Crooks again. Crosses the halfway line now. Last tackle.
Going to be an important role by Mike Ford in the dummy half position. There you see him taking control. That means he has to get himself more involved now, seeing that they've lost Richard Russell. Quick thinking there by Ford, an experienced campaigner. Let's get out of here and push the ball, using the kick to its fullest ability.
If you were with us on Friday, you'll know that he hasn't yet signed a new deal with Castleford, but he has also not yet signed a deal with the Queensland Crushers, he says. Still a lot of talking and negotiating to go on, I'm sure, regarding the future of Mike Ford, but let's hope we don't lose him to the Winfield Cup. We need to keep the very best of British stars here in the big league. And of course, St. John Ellis there doing the tackling for Castleford. He also is fancying a move to Queensland, but he is the leading try scorer in the game this season, and we don't want to lose him either.
Difficult period now for Bradford. 2 points adrift, and they looked as though they had full charge of this game. There you see the possession. In the second half, Castleford well and truly in front, but it's, oh, that's a bad mistake.
Heron's pass is spilled by Clark, and Ford picked up the loose ball. Play on. Castleford looking to really ram home their advantage now.
I was just about to say, Eddie, that Bradford now do not have to panic. If they panic, they could lose this. They could lose control considerably.
Nathan Sykes.
They just have to play very basic. Work hard and try to get into the Castleford quarter.
Suddenly the Bradford Northern supporters on the terraces here are a little silent. They know that their team is going through something of a crisis. That was the ball from Nicow, but it bounced out of St. John Ellis' grasp, and Watson has run it across the face of play, and it opens up a bit here for Summers. Applause from the Bradford Northern crowd now. They breathe a sigh of relief, but it's Newlove who's in possession for them. He's the man who can turn it for Bradford, Paul Newlove.
He's done it so often this season, especially from deep within his own half. Got the power, the strength and the speed.
Here's Heron, substitute for Bradford in this second half. Just 2 points the gap, 10 points to 12. Castleford leading, and at the moment, Castleford-Wigan at Old Trafford. But Bradford trying to do something about that now. Last tackle, though, here for Bradford. Burbank played that with the knees almost. Fox with a little kick over the top and diagonally. That was a knock-on. Well, that went forward first, then bounced off the legs, I think, of Middleton, and went backwards. He's lucky.
Very lucky indeed. That was a mistake that Bradford were looking for.
Oh, well. The second look tells a different story, perhaps, but it might be a bit difficult to see from that angle. But to me, the ball was certainly propelled in a forward motion and then bounced off his legs and went backwards.
If it confuses you, Eddie, I'm sure it can confuse a referee.
So long as we're not confusing the viewers. This is Crooks up to the halfway line.
That was knocked out.
That ball was knocked out, you're right. And the referee agrees and wipes the tackle can clean. But shouldn't it be a penalty if Burbank does that?
Well, he's allowed play on. I know it should be a penalty, Eddie, but as far as I'm concerned, the referee, John Connolly, knew that Castleford regained possession. Joe, play on with it. He allowed the advantage rule there. Not so sure that it was a great advantage.
I was going to say, it's
Castleford.
cost them a few metres, hasn't it? Anyway, that debate will continue as Nathan Sykes runs this ball at Neil Summers. Kettridge is the dummy half, a mistake from Kettridge. And ironic cheers from the terraces, but Bradford have got a decision from John Connolly. That's a bit unfair.
He knows it. Second row of Kettridge. And how important was I saying about the fact that Mike Ford has to get into the dummy half position. And they're miles offside of Castleford. Well, that is a silly penalty to give away.
Shelford with the run, grounded by Blackmore. And that is Stedman. This is Derek Fox. Ducks under the challenge almost from Crooks, but the big man got him and took a wee while to get off him. Trevor Clark lost his patience, pushed Crooks out of the way. Here's Summers now.
Good play from Bradford. They're bringing David Watson up more into the action. He's the type of man that they've got to look towards. The step and the speed, an elusive character.
Heron. Good tackling that. Dean Sampson. There's Watson, the dummy half. Here's Derek Fox. He switches the direction of play. Chips the ball over the top. And it just runs dead. St. John Ellis was watching it like a hawk.
He wouldn't be happy with that, Derek Fox. He knew it was too strong. Let Castleford off the hook. We're just beginning to get the momentum going with Bradford. Haven't had much possession in the second half.
Castleford still in control with Ford, and here's Sykes. And we are now midway through this second half. Just 20 minutes to go. Old Trafford beckoning. The door is slightly ajar for Castleford, but only by a 2-point margin. Crooks with that run. It's the last tackle. Stedman drills it all along the ground. Was clattered after the ball had gone. And there is the problem with those raised corners. And there's the mistake from Watson, and there's the try from Middleton again. The ball didn't run out on the raised corner. Watson took it back into the field of play, dropped it. Castleford said thanks for the gift, and Middleton now with his 20th try of the season.
Blame the Speedway for this. It did no favours for Bradford on that occasion. The kick deep from Stedman, it just stood up there. Look how it stops. There's sections of grass and the ball is spilled there. Crooks made the tackle. Ball out to Middleton. Thank you very much indeed. It's try time. Bradford claiming that he didn't get the ball down, but according to John Connolly, it was A-OK.
So after 6 games without a try, that's 2 here this afternoon for Simon Middleton, who also scored a try in the Regal semi-final at Valley Parade last season against Bradford Northern. So Bradford really will be sick of the sight of Middleton. That has given them perhaps a crucial advantage in the last quarter of this match, and Crooks knows how important this kick will be for the extra 2. So Crooks just relaying the little mountain of sand on which he places that ball. Bradford behind the post will be reflecting on the fact that these raised corners, the grass has to be put down to cover the speedway track, has caused them real problems here this afternoon, particularly for that Simon Middleton try. And he's missed that one. So the gap is only 6 points.
You're watching Sky Sports. Millions of British households are now receiving their new Sky viewing cards, replacing the old cards which will soon expire. Upon receipt of the new card, use it immediately. If you haven't received your new viewing card, or if you have any problems, call Sky on 0506 484 777.
To fully appreciate anything, you must experience it for yourself. For instance, if you never drive an Audi, you'll never experience the sure-footed road holding of the Audi 80. Or the smooth acceleration of the Audi Coupe. And you'll never have cause to thank us for fitting ABS brakes as standard to all models. So, we've made it even easier to arrange a test drive. Simply dial our free phone number or visit your nearest Audi dealer. Vorsprung durch Technik, as you'll soon be saying for yourself.
Your stylist knows your hair is special. So do you. He tailors his care to your hair. So do you. He knows you need a special conditioner, and so does Vidal Sassoon. He's reinvented Wash and Go. Not with ordinary, but with tailor-made conditioners to match your hair. So dry hair stays soft and shiny. Greasy hair is cleaner with body. And fine hair has volume. The new Wash and Go from Vidal Sassoon. Tailored care for your hair.
Well, of course, it were all different in our day.
It were that. Aye.
I can remember when all this were now but fields.
Aye.
You see, that's trouble with young folk today.
Aye.
When they come out to college, they expect it all to be there for them on the plate. You don't get out for now. Very true. Mind you, I can remember when you could go out, have a slap-up feed, something to drink, and still have money left for your bus ride home.
When was that then?
Last Thursday.
McDonald's present extra value meals. It's your favourite McDonald's. Medium fries, medium Coca-Cola, all at a good old-fashioned price.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, Mum. We're on our way home. Out!
Introducing new Pledge Soapy Cleaner for Wood, specially formulated to clean dirty wooden surfaces, such as wooden floors, kitchen units and doors. With its special soapy formula, it cleans wood, removing everyday dirt and grime, with no need to rinse. And because it's from Pledge, it won't damage your wood. Pledge Soapy Cleaner, gentle cleaning for wood.
Hi, Mum. It's Alex.
It's all right. You can't see me.
I'm just calling before we pop out to the cinema. See how you are.
Have you ever done that? I know I have. Before you say anything else, you say, I can't talk for long, we've got to go out. You want to see how that feels on the other end? Come here.
Alex!
It's not on, is it? You ever listen to a woman on the phone?
That dress you were looking for, did you find one with the neck you wanted? Square, wasn't it? Not too low?
Oh, don't be daft. It's for not whistles.
It's kinder, isn't it? And you don't have to rack up your phone bill to do it. Call it the weekend. Low weekend rates means a 20-minute chat costs less than a bottle of lager. 3 minutes for 10p.
Well, here's the try scorer, Simon Middleton. The gap 6 points. Nick out in possession for Castleford. Ford to Dean Sampson.
What a vital miss, though, that goal from Lee Crooks.
There's a mistake. A knock-on from Kettridge.
Well, that's the second occasion. Look at that. Just a lack of concentration at a time when you've just virtually sealed the game. But they're still in with a chance, Bradford. Only 6 points adrift.
And here's Caudle on a diagonal run. Bradford have made a change, by the way. Paul Gratian, the prop forward's gone off to be replaced by John Hamer. Trying to rescue this match now for Bradford is Paul Newlock. Castleford are grasping at straws. Oh, he was clattered then by Sampson. He went down like a sack of cards.
Well, a big centre went there.
But Newlock did duck the head.
He ducked the head down. Sampson's arm was coming right round. and at the same time they made the impact. There it is, no doubt about it that the arm hit the face. And he's still receiving treatment. This Paul Newlove is in Disneyland at the moment.
Heron, short ball to Fairbank, gets it away to Caudle, and Caudle gets away from Blackmore, and then dumps another player out of the way. He is taking something to bring him down, and Caudle is right in front of where this action's taking place, and is receiving treatment. There he is, the Great Britain centre. Good play that by Fox, little chip over the top by Heron. Middleton watched it, allowed it to bounce and drop into his arms, and off goes Middleton. Middleton has some pace. Watson's coming across to cut him out. Does Middleton have the legs? Yes, he does. This is a great try. That is one of the tries of the season, and that hat-trick from Middleton could well take Castleford to Old Trafford. Breathtaking attack from Cass.
It all came about because they applied pressure to the regular kicker on Bradford's side, Derek Fox. They couldn't get a good kick in. This man picks up the loose ball and shows the determination. Look at the concentration. He knows he's got the speed. He knows it's 4 points. He knows he's going to Old Trafford. There's a kick. It had to be done by Heron, because they'd applied so much pressure to Fox, he had to release it backwards. It was not the best kick. Straight into the arm of Simon Middleton. He made the decision a long, long time ago that he had the speed. You saw that he looked across for the cover. The dive said it all, and Speedway Land has become something of a happy hunting ground.
Lee Crooks 2 from 4, another difficult conversion on this far side of the field. Again, it sails away from the posts, no conversion, but what a sensational try from Simon Middleton that gives Castleford the 10-point lead.
You can see how Mike Ford applies the pressure to Fox. He can't get the good kick in. It goes to the sub, David Heron, and that's not the best. There's no pressure applied. We know what comes next.
The hat-trick from Simon Middleton, and this Premiership semi-final round has been the round of the hat-tricks. On Friday, Wigan's number 5, Martin Afire ran in 3. This afternoon, it's Castleford's number 5, Simon Middleton, who gets his second hat-trick of the season, and he's reserved his hat-trick feats for cup football. The last was in the Regal Trophy.
Well, we fully expected that mistakes would play a big part in this game. It was a bad mistake from David Watson that allowed Middleton to score his second try, but that was sheer class, wasn't it?
He just pinned his ears back, didn't he? And from 5 yards from his own line, sped up the field. It was great to watch. The diagonal kick. Oh, and again, that raised area almost causes problems.
Well, that's an interesting one. I thought that it hit the line in the field of play, so that should have been a scrum down on the 10.
I wonder if he said he hit the corner flag. Anyway, no matter what, it's Bradford who are in possession, and at the moment it's Castleford who are on their way to Old Trafford, but it's the Premiership Division 2 final, which kicks us off next Sunday at 1:30, live from Old Trafford. It's traditionally a magnificent match, that. And then the big one, the First Division, following the England-Norway Soccer International at 6:30 on Sky. Newlove almost has the shorts ripped off him by Graham Stedman. He's fully recovered from that crack on the head now. Fox. Bradford trying to rescue this semi-final. Dixon, Shelford on the run. The support is there from Hamer. Hamer trying to run through Smith. Almost does that, but doesn't get away from Middleton. Clark to Fox. He finds Heron. Heron dancing. The support is there from from Powell rather, and he's losing it.
Oh, a bad mistake from Powell at a vital time. Bradford not out of this game by any stretch of imagination. And he was trying to get the ball away free, away from Lee Crooks. and it just spilled away. Shakes his head in disbelief.
Castleford just preparing to make a substitution. It looks as though Graham Steadman, who seems to have been struggling a bit, is going to come off, and Ian Smails will come on. Well, Smails has come on. He's coming back off again now, so I'm not sure that Castleford exactly know who they want on, or off, I should say. It is Smails that comes on, and Steadman just limping at the back of the picture, just coming off with looks like an arm injury.
Yes, the arm is in a sling made by the bottom of his shirt. Let's hope that if they make it to Old Trafford, that won't stop him. But Heron is doing his best to get Bradford back in this semi-final, and I think he has. As the referee he said he's held up. Well, another controversial decision from John Connolly.
Not a popular man here. The Bradford side are going berserk.
And David Heron's gone potty at the referee, who holds the clock up and wouldn't want a word.
It was a great run Eddie, from the substitute. But he's completely lost the marbles there.
And quite rightly, General Caudle is telling the players to get away from the referee. There has to be an arbiter in these things, and it's the man in black, and he's saying exactly what he believes. Now, Bradford mightn't agree with him, but they mustn't take the law into their own hands.
Disallowed. Did he get it down? It's hard to see from there. Difficult for any referee. They're all shouting for it, but that was stupid reaction there from Heron.
Well, he was held up over the line, so it was Bradford's head and feet at the scrum.
That's what Gerald Caudle was trying to tell his teammates. We still get the ball, let's get on with it.
And any back-chatting from the referee could have resulted in a penalty the other way. And the way Heron went at the referee, anything else could have happened. Thankfully it hasn't, and Bradford have another chance with Fairbank.
They're not going to give up the ghost, Bradford. They just smell a chance here. Only 10 points in it.
Watson's ball to Heron. He's looking round for support. There was no one there. He should be as frustrated about that as the referee's decision. A little dart from Watson, and again he's held up. Last tackle, last chance here for Bradford on this set of 6. Fox stabs it forward. St. John Ellis picks it up. Steps out of trouble. They've got problems here, Bradford. St. John Ellis is on his way. He's got support inside him. St. John Ellis is turning Caudle inside out. And in the end, Caudle got to him, and then the job was finished off by Summers. Terrific run, though, from St. John Ellis.
Was it ever? It was Torval and Dean stuff. It was inside, outside. Triple sulkers, or whatever they call them. They was doing it all. Good positioning from the full-back, St. John Ellis, realising that the kick was on, inside, outside, step, step, step. It was absolutely sensational.
And a triple sulker. I think it's salsa, but I don't know what it is.
Maybe a double. Oh, that was high. And Mr. Clark may get the chance of an early shower on this one. Bang. Did he hit the shoulder? Well, he swung, the intent was there. He hits the arm first. You see Tony Smith had to cover himself, realising something was coming at him.
But he's not being pulled out by referee John Connolly. Connolly's pulled Hamer and also Derek Fox to him.
Well, I don't know what that's about, but it was. The intent was there. You don't have to make contact. Aiming at anything above the shoulders.
Looking at some of these Bradford Northern players, Steve-O, I don't think John Connolly would be receiving their vote as the 1994 referee of the year.
Well, none of them get Christmas cards anyway, so I don't think they'll worry about it. But he will. The coach, Peter Fox, probably feels he's been badly done to on a few occasions. The incident where Paul Newlove, he went down, but did he duck his head into it? Plenty to talk about in this game today.
And Peter Fox is certainly chunnering and pointing about one or two incidents, I'm sure. With Lee Crooks now, 5 attempts, 2 successful kicks. This is the 6th attempt coming up. John Joyner is keeping a diplomatic silence. And Lee Crooks is in no hurry whatsoever to take this penalty attempt. This could be a vital two, would stretch the advantage, which means that Bradford would then have to score 2 converted tries just to get level. And he misses another.
A bad miss, but he did get the distance. That'll be the dropout on the quarter line. So Castleford will receive possession.
And here they come again with Andy Hay. The tackle was from Trevor Clark. Now Ian Smales. 5 minutes to go. Touch judge is on again. David Heron's involved. Roy Powell's involved.
Well, he swung the arm, but I don't think he made contact. Just frustration there. This is when just swings it. There's nothing really in that.
I think Heron is complaining that the Castleford man might have had the elbow on.
Well, he used the shoulder.
Used his shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about it. That was it. It was just flat to the hand. Not happy with the touch judge, and rightly so.
Well, he's frustrated, David Heron. This will be the 7th Premiership semi-final that he will have lost if Bradford lose this. And they have 5 minutes, well, 4 minutes now to rescue the situation. And Peter Fox has decided that David Heron has done enough, and he wants to bring Paul Medley back into the action as soon as possible before Heron gets himself into really hot water. I think that's sensible by the coach.
Sure is. He knows that the marbles have gone.
Nick Howe held on to that. He's given it to Smales. And just 3 meters from the line, Castleford will switch the direction of this attack. It's Nick Howe. Oh, and the ball was looking for Sampson. Ford's picked it up, and Ford's got a stroll in, and Castleford are strolling all the way to Old Trafford. There'll be no stopping them now. It's Wigan Cast next Sunday. Mike Ford's 22nd try of the season.
There's only one word you can say about this, and that's soft. Nick Howe, who's had a big game, throws the dummy, and look at this. The slip by Shelford. There's no one at home. All the time in the world. Poor Carl Hall was left with 3. Switch to the blind side. Nice step from Nick Howe. But at this point, Bradford's defence is just nowhere to be seen. The only man that was there was Shelford, who slipped. Ford couldn't believe his eyes and gleefully accepts the one-way ticket to Old Trafford.
So Mike Ford's try means that Castleford, who have lost 4 semi-finals, including each of the last 2 years, can now begin making their travel plans for Old Trafford next Sunday. The conversions from Lee Crooks really haven't mattered, the fact that he's missed so many. And remember, Bradford, after 14 minutes, were 10-0 ahead. But now, their supporters are making for the exits. Referee holds the clock up, tells the timekeepers to stop their stopwatches, because Crooks is taking an eternity to get that ball settled on the little mountain of sand. It keeps falling off. But it will be Lee Crooks and not Derek Fox who will be leading out his side at Old Trafford, and Mike Ford, with that 22nd try of the season for him, a very happy young man. Crooks this time misses another. Well, he will be far from happy with his goal kicking, but he'll be delighted with the fact that Castleford are 24-10 winners.
See how Nick Howe has pulled in 2 defenders, but you can see Shelford is circled. He's the only man there. And when the ball just drops backwards, Ford picks it up gleefully. And poor Carl Hall says, what can I do? Watch. That's all he can do.
Mike Ford and Castleford will take heart from the fact that St Helens, Leeds and Warrington have won from 4th place in the Premiership final. St Helens in 1976, Leeds in 1979, Warrington in 1986. They've all won it from 4th, and that's what Castleford have to do now.
The hooker, Trevor Clark, penalised for reefing the ball away. Finishes up with it in his arms there. Touch judge informs the referee, John Connolly. It just has not been Bradford's day. They raced away to the 10-0 lead. They were playing very good, solid, wet weather football. And I suppose, Eddie, when you think about it, it took that magnificent individual try from the youngster Chris Smith near the end of the first half that put Castleford well and truly back into this game when it looked as though it was slipping away.
It's Castleford then who are playing out time at the end of this match now, knowing they're on their way to Old Trafford. Nickow gets the ball away to Sampson, and Nickow again. This is a lovely run. And there's Eddie Ashton, the Castleford chairman, alongside his coaching duo of Agar and Joyner. He knows they're on the way to the final. And the chip over the top from Crooks was just palmed dead by Darryl Shelford.
Been a very important factor as the kicking game for Castleford in the second half. They've kicked extremely well. Crooks, Stedman, Mike Ford.
Well, I can tell you that Castleford know they're going to Old Trafford because everybody on that bench of theirs has just shaken hands all round. And Wigan now await them. It's a repeat of the Regal final, which Castleford won 33 points to 2. It's a repeat of the Challenge Cup semi-final, which Wigan won to get to Wembley again. So it's 1-1 in terms of cup ties. It was 1-1 in the league matches. And now we have the ultimate decider at Old Trafford next Sunday. It will be winner takes all, and what a final it promises to be.
Well, not surprisingly, in the final seconds, the zip has well and truly gone out of this game.
It's been a great contest, though. One or two refereeing decisions that Bradford will question forevermore went against them. But it's Castleford who stuck to their guns in the end, and it's Castleford who are in the final. The end of season jamboree.
Bit of a high tackle there from the centre, Tony Smith.
Bradford will try and get some consolation from this match, but I rather fancy it will leave a bit of taste in their mouth. Hamer with the run. Castleford's motto here now is just hang on to this advantage, concede nothing soft towards the end, but Bradford are after consolation, and Paul Newlove might get some for them, and he has. Paul Newlove, try number 37 of this highly productive season for one of the best young centres in the world. It's a pity that Old Trafford won't be his stage next week, but he will be happy with that end to this match.
Full credit to Bradford, they've kept it alive. Nice pass inside there, and the big fella is on hand to take it. Dixon provided the last pass. Look at the strength. He's such a talent, this centre. Consolation. Ball out wide. Lovely play there. Fairbank, the strength. But it came too late, I'm afraid. Short little pass. Look at the acceleration here. He knows he's got the speed, but oh, he wishes it could have come about 15 minutes earlier.
Yes, Paul Newlove knows the chance has gone. Derek Fox is just jogging back because a few seconds ago from bang in front, he added the extra 2. It's his second successful kick of the afternoon. And there is the final siren. And the Castleford players hold their arms aloft. Simon Middleton with his hat-trick ensured in the second half that it's Castleford who go to Old Trafford next Sunday to take on the champions Wigan in what should be a wonderful end of the season. Full-time here at Odsal, Bradford 16, which reflects the contribution they played in this semi-final, but Castleford the winners with 24.
You're watching.
So a tremendous win here for Castleford by 24 points to 16. Bradford Northern racing into a 10-0 advantage, but then Castleford coming back, and the 3 tries from Simon Middleton illuminating their display here.
Simon, what a great time to get a hat-trick. Yeah, you know, they've not come so easy this year, haven't the tries. Obviously, Richie and Singe being in such a rich vein of form, we've been attacking on that side more often than not. But, you know, we've stuck out and we worked hard all year, and, you know, like you say, it's a good time to come and win a hat-trick. So. And a great time to score a length of the field try, because that really did tilt the balance of the game, didn't it? Yeah, I think that, I wouldn't say that tilted balance, because I think what did that was our defence. I think our forwards were an absolute example today. The way that we defended was superb, particularly after the bad start we had. But, yeah, it's always nice to score from long range. And I think that just gave the forwards the little bit extra they needed to carry it through and see the game out. Did you think you were going to make it? You really pinned your ears back. Well, I've come up against Dave Watson once or twice before, and he's always got better than me, one-on-one. And I was just glad to be able to stretch my legs. And from about 30 yards out, I thought I've got him. And but he's a good competitor, and he chased me right to the line, and I just managed to squeeze in, and the rest is history, really. What about next Sunday now? It really is a tasty prospect, isn't it? At least from our position it is. Well, since he's having a drink first, but yeah, I mean, Old Trafford, everybody rates Old Trafford next to Wembley now. And, you know, it's been a disappointment missing out on Wembley this year. So we're just going to go there, and we know we'll be underdogs, but we're just going to go there and enjoy the occasion, and we hope the fans enjoy the occasion, and we're just going to look for a result to finish our season off, and just cap, like I say, what's been a fine season. And we're just going to enjoy it. We're really going to enjoy it. Derek, that must be a defeat that's hard to take.
It is, yes. We've had a tremendous season. And the lads have put their bit in. A few controversial decisions. If David and Pratt had got the ball down, we could have probably come back into it. But it's been a long hard season for the lads. And unfortunately, we haven't finished off winning a major trophy. We've come runners up, and we've got to more semi-finals than anything. So it's been fairly disappointing.
And do you think that decision about Dave Heron's try was just?
It's hard to say, really. I thought he got the ball down, then they turned in. The referee was in a very difficult position to see it. But you take the rough with the smooth. Castleford played well on the day. I think we went too far ahead too early, and complacency set in. We started coughing the ball up in silly situations. And all credit to Castleford, they just kept on playing the same pattern of playing steamrollers.
But really, you desperately wanted to get to Old Trafford, didn't you?
We did, yes, for the Bradford Northern supporters. We wanted to give them something this year. They followed us through thick and thin. We've been a nearly side. We haven't justified the form we've played all year, so it's disappointing this afternoon, but we've got a lot of work on to do in the close season now.
St John, for once you're put in the shade by your fellow winger. What a great performance from Simon Middleton.
Fabulous performance from Simon. You know, I think he's very underrated as Simon, you know. You know, probably because I've had a touch of land like this year, and Simon has been in the shade, but, you know, he does make a lot of ground, and he's got a high work rate, you know, and he's very underrated. Maybe Bradford concentrated on bottling you up, but they forgot to take care of him. Well, that's right. You know, if they give me a lot of attention and Simon can do the business, I mean, that's what he's paid for, and that's what he does. You know, he's got plenty of pace, and as you've seen today, he's an excellent finisher. Well, it takes you to the Premiership final at Old Trafford, another showdown with Wigan. Is this going to be another humdinger of a game? You know, I think we'll have a drink tonight and do our preparation throughout the week, and prepare for them, through the week. And obviously, when you're enjoying it, you're winning. So, we aim to be enjoying it, and then everything else should fall into place. And from a personal point of view, is this going to be you signing off on a high note? Do we know yet? Well, you'll have to talk to David McKnight about that. And that's all I'll say for now. But if it is to be the end of your association with Castleford, what finer place to end it? That's right, obviously the ball... Oh, well, we'll do our preparation through the week and, see how things go. But obviously we're not going in there to lie down and let them win. They've had their fair share of glory, and it's our turn now.
So St John Ellis and Castleford looking forward to Old Trafford next weekend when they will take on Wigan in the First Division Premiership final. But there